Tell you about Bang Bang. I was going through that park one. I was only about 8, and I rang it in front of my father, you know. And I was running away, and next thing I was grabbed by the shoulder and turned around, and I got a smack in the face. Now it wasn't. I quickly had. It wasn't hard, but it was Bang Bang. And he says, "You're a baddie. I'm going to shoot you. You're a baddie." And with that, my father was between the two of us. And says he, "No, he's not a baddie." And with that, "No, he's not a baddie." And he brushed him down and he galloped away. That was Bang Bang.
No, to be on Johnny 40 Coats, I remember seeing. But Bang Bang, no, I don't have the memory.
Oh, I've plenty of. I've seen him many a time. Then there was another fella over there, who to me was very. He doesn't be mentioned a lot. Was Jembo No Toes. He was an old guy and he'd walk like this. And at the odd time, Bang Bang would come around and the language out. I remember him with the language, because as a kid, we were only that height when I lived there. I remember as a kid out there with other kids. Now I was only just about 5, and we were all jeering him and slagging him. And he was you know, the door was only a half door when you opened it up, and he'd be leaning over and "I'll get you, F, B and C," all the language out of him. Well, Bang Bang sometimes would come along and shoot him, and he'd go into a fit. He'd do a hissy. He'd go into a fit. Now, and then he'd run away. He'd stay away from him. He'd come chasing after Bang Bang, and he'd be all around the streets trying to get him. But and Bang Bang would wait for him to catch up, and he'd shoot him again. Then he'd run away.
Remember you were telling me when you left school you didn't start working until you were
I didn't. I was nearly 16.
Yeah,
and then I went into handcraft.
Handcraft?
Yeah, and I done all sorts of things.
That was on Dawson Street.
Dawson Street, just a couple of doors from the Hibernian Hotel.
I love the Hibernian. It's lovely.
Is that still there?
No, it's a shopping centre.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I worked there, and then I worked there for about 2 years, and a friend of mine asked me would I like to go into Cassidy's. And as I told you, I've done a lot of sewing at home, but I never, factory work like kind of wasn't my style at the time. But she said, not easy to work for, and the girls are nice. And so I went in, and I was there for nearly 12.5 years.
Wow.
And then when Mr. Cassidy himself kind of died, the sons didn't want it. They kept it for 1.5 years or so after that, but they just gave up.
And did they sell it then?
They sold it. And then I went to work for, I went to work in Glenampy after that.
But you, on Dawson Street, you were saying you'd learned a lot.
I learned an awful lot in Dawson Street. I made lampshades, I made gloves, I repaired handbags, made belts, I done embroidery. You name it, and I've done it there.
And you named gloves that you made.
I made ordinary soft leather gloves,
Yes.
handmade.
Okay.
And then I made, you know, the wool, the gloves with the fleece line inside.
Yes.
I made them.
Right, yeah.
And used to make lovely belts. There used to be a place, a lady shop in Grafton Street, and they used to make all the belts for ladies' clothes, dresses, and fancy belts, like, you know, for there. I made them. I think.
You learned a lot, though.
I did.
How much did you get paid while you were there?
There, a half crown.
What
2 and 6.
What year are we in now? Was it?
Cassidy's then was an ordinary wage. There was no, you just done your work and done good work.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and the pay was good there.
It wasn't piecework, yeah.
No, it was over there was piecework.
In
You just
Glenabbey.
done rubbish
Yeah.
and got paid.
Okay.
You know, and the work like was dreadful.
Okay.
I tell you that straight.
And so,
When I was in Cassidy's then I was a fancy machinist. For instance, like ladies' night dresses, we'll say, and negligees, as they used to be called that time.
Yeah.
A better name, another name for them now, they're dressing gowns and whatever.
Yeah.
But I done all the lace that was on them.
How do you mean you did all the lace on?
It was a fancy machine. There used to be lace around the collars and lace on the cuffs and lace everywhere. place all around the front.
Oh, and use the machine to
Machine, yeah, fancy machine. I was a fancy machinist there.
make.
I was an ordinary machinist first, and the first thing I done in it was boys' pyjamas.
Okay, you
Children's
said to me that
pyjamas.
you knew a woman who worked there.
A friend of mine worked there and she sat beside me just because I had known all about sewing. She said,
Okay.
"Can you just do that and you just do this?" And of course I was able to take it in, you know.
You're very good.
So I'm clever ever since.
And after Glen Abbey, what happened then?
After Glen Abbey I come home
Okay.
because my mother, Lord have mercy on her, my mother was dead. But while my mother had to work, I was having to look for another job while she was alive.
Yeah.
She didn't believe in going home doing nothing. I looked after myself after that.
Okay.
And then it was a few years on my own then when Billy come back to me. He was separated and he come back to me.
Yeah.
He come in one Sunday morning and, no we didn't, he come in one during the week. It was just after New Year's Eve. Someone threw, I don't say it was deliberate, but someone threw a brick and it hit my window. And John come in the next morning to fix, I can remember it as plain as anything. John come in the next morning to fix the pane of glass.
Yeah.
And while he was here, Billy come in. So I said to Billy, "Are you coming or going?" Meaning, like, was he staying for a cup of tea or was he going home?
Yeah.
And he said, so in front of John, he said, "I'll have a cup of tea." So when John went, I might be here for a few days.
Okay.
And I had him 22 years after.
And did he ever make up with his wife?
No. We were never from the day he married her, we spoke to her. You tolerated her, in other words, but that was the end of her, when Billy broke up.
Okay. Was there a reason for that?
Well, first of all, she was the boss. No
Right.
matter what she done. You know, Billy brought all the children here on a Sunday morning, and one morning Mummy said, "Billy, why do you have all the kids with you, like, kind of, what's she doing?" She's gone away with her friend for a
Okay.
weekend.
Yeah.
So he went away. So, like, we never that close. So,
Okay.
now, one of his daughters, you might have often seen her, she used to come when Billy wasn't, no, they didn't, right enough, and he really needed her, she'd come. And she used to go up to the hospital with him in that time. Billy had the cancer, you see. Billy had cancer of the lung. And you might have seen her on the stairs. She's long hair, right all over one shoulder, nearly down to her knees.
Yeah, yeah.
Now she rings me regular and she'll often come up.
Okay.
And she goes regular. Sometimes she rang me last week, she said she had a heavy cold and she wasn't coming up.
Yeah.
Because she was in the park sitting on Billy's seat, where he used to sit in the park.
Yeah. Okay.
So she has his ashes, and now he's dead just 8 years, but she still has his ashes. And she's going to put them in the park someday.
That's very
Just
nice.
say, "All
isn't
right,
it?
you're on your own."
Well,
Because I'm not supposed to do that. I think you have to get permission.
right.
Billy is my brother.
Okay.
It was the wife we didn't get on too well with.
Okay.
He was very easygoing, like, and she was
Yeah.
very domineering. I lived in 32 A block around the back, on the very top.
Waiting where?
Now I was very young.
Yes.
I only come there at 7 months. I was born on the South Circular Road.
Right.
Well, Seamus and I am a twin, you see.
Yeah.
Seamus used to live, you might know
I know Seamus well, yes. Yeah.
Seamus used to live in mine house, as you know. He's gone to Rathmines.
Yeah.
Which was, well, he still says he loves it, but it was the worst thing he ever done.
Sorry.
Well, first of all, the people in mine house are friendly, as you know. And when he lived in mine house, now he lived there for 20 years, like, why, at nearly 80 odd, he wanted to go to Rathmines, I don't know. We think, see, there was a flat beside him, he only had a bedsit. And there was a flat beside him, and he asked for it. No, he didn't put in for it. This is what I think. We
Yeah.
never got the gist of it. But we think that he thought when this person moved out, he could only go into the office and ask for that flat. It was a
Yeah.
bedroom,
Yeah.
you see. He
Yeah.
wanted the extra bedroom.
Yeah.
He wanted
A
a bedroom.
bedroom,
He'd
yeah,
done in the
yeah,
bedsit.
yeah.
And of course, when he went to Liam told him that it was for 2 people. So all right, he was satisfied with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it ended up only 1 person went into it.
Okay.
And that annoyed him.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it was more with temper than anything else that he went to Rathmines.
Like.
But poor Barbara, before she died, was very upset. Barbara beside you.
What
She
was
was
she
going to
upset?
She had packed an all to go to Rathmines.
Okay.
And it got her down. It really, she come in here one night and she cried, said, Barbara, don't be stupid. If you can't go down the stairs, you sit in. God knows you can stand at the window, you see traffic going by.
Yeah.
And your daughter comes up, Rita comes up to you, and Holly
Yeah.
comes up to you.
Yeah.
Why would you go?
Yeah.
She said, I don't know, I'm all packed and all, she said. So 2 days later, she come in, she came, she said, I'm not going, I wouldn't be able. Now, it's a beautiful flat.
Yeah.
And I will say it's beside shops, every shop you can think of is beside you. You've Jones, you've Tesco, you've
Yeah.
Lidl, you've Aldi, you've every shop, and there's hundreds of restaurants. But somehow or another we don't think, and kind of we fell out over that.
You not miss your twin now?
Well, I'll tell you why. When we were only 3 months, me granny took him. Me mammy and daddy were going to a wedding and brought me. And Seamus never really come back to live with us after that. Now, we lived next door all right. And me mammy saw him and mammy dressed him for communion and confirmation. She knew she owned him, like. But he was all the time with me granny. Because my aunt lived there as well, you see. My aunt lived in 4 and 5. She was married.
Yeah.
And then when my granny died, he kind of stopped her me. My granny was the first one to get number 5, to get the flats.
Yeah.
She come up from Wexford
Okay.
and got the flat in number 5.
And then you moved again.
And then, because there was a flat beside her, we moved down. No, not beside her, near her. We moved to number 9
Yeah.
on the landing.
Yeah.
And then when there was another flat open, there were 2 old ladies lived there. 2 very bold old ladies, very nice. And when that flat went, my mammy went down to number 6. But they were smaller flats because, first of all, we had no inside toilet,
Yeah.
as I said to you.
Yeah.
We had to go out. When I come in from number 6, when I come in the door, I was in this room,
Okay.
the sitting room kind of, as we
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah.
And over there we had 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
When I was downstairs, we had 2 bedrooms, you see.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why Seamus stopped with my mammy, with me granny.
Yeah.
We'd only 2 bedrooms and there was 6 of us, like,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
You know, there was 5 of us after Seamus left.
Yeah.
So we weren't that, but I was never that close to him. But now we come down the other day, the party in mine. You missed that now, it was a great day. I think it's because there'd be too many, do you see? And then you see, there again, Marie, my friend Marie wouldn't, I have to emphasise because I've 2 Maries, actually got 3 Maries. My sister-in-law's Marie as well. And my friend Marie now, she wouldn't sit that near you even,
Yeah.
you know.
Because of the virus, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now she's vaccinated, she's in her 80s, but not her. Well, I don't care where I go, I'm vaccinated, and the only thing now I think just get on with it.
Mm.
That's my idea.
Well,
But she's not like that, so she won't come, so I can't move. You know.
yeah.
Now I had a friend, my niece was here the other day with her daughter
Yeah.
and her husband, with Lisbon making her first communion.
Yeah.
And this is her 2nd year, like it's been put off the
Yeah.
last 2 years.
Yeah.
She was to make it in May 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But she only made it on Saturday. The priest allowed 3 to make it at a time. So she took it and said it's time she made her communion. She's 9.
Yeah.
So Marie said to me, will you let them in? I said, of course I'll let them in. They're all vaccinated, except the child.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest,
You have to get on with it, I think.
You do have to get on with it, really. You have to live with that. Otherwise, I think you lose your mind.
Well, I mean, it's not going away.
Is
Let's see it, it's not going anywhere. So we have to live with it. I think all that thing will upset you if you let it. Now Marie, my friend Marie's going with Alice. Now she's
what?
going overboard. She doesn't want to do this and she doesn't want to do that. And she thinks I shouldn't be doing it either. But I said to her the other day, Marie, I don't care where I go or who comes. You have to get on with it. That's my idea. I think they're using the cover for everything. I mean, we were told, well, I always understood when we got vaccinated, that was it. You were better, you'd never get it again. Now, my girl that come this morning, I have to laugh. She's a home help, she sits where you are with her hands by looking at the telly. But however, that's neither here nor there. Because Marie will bring me messages, or so will Derek. I'm not sure to someone to do him.
Yeah.
If all goes to hell, I can go myself. But she told me this morning, She knows someone after coming back now. She's not sure whether they got it in Spain or not. Fully vaccinated, got the COVID, and then in intensive care in James's. So like, what are we getting injected for? They're trying to say long ago, like, it cured you from, you wouldn't get it, it saved you from getting it. Or if you got it, it'd be very light.
Oh, no,
And this
they-
girl
they
is in
have-
intensive
they-
care.